Welcome or welcome back for this week's Human Design Transit Report. Happy Valentine's Day! So the transit changed yesterday on February 13th, and the sun moved into the gate 30, which is the gate of desire or the gate of passion. And the earth moved into the gate 29, which is the perseverance or devotion. How perfect that every year on Valentine's Day, the sun is in the gate 30, which is all about this super intense emotional energy. Both the gate 30 and the gate 29 are in the sensing circuit. And the sensing circuit is right-brained energy. It is creative, it's abstract, it's embodied, it's experiential, it is somatic, it is connected to the oneness, right? And so it makes sense that we would have this really intense, passionate energy and this devotion in the sensing circuit, because neither one of those are logical or linear or rational or any of those things. Also, the gate 30 is on the emotional solar plexus and the gate 29 is on the sacral. So those are both engines in the chart. So that means these energies are powerful. They are part of the fuel of the human design system, if you will. The gate 30 is known as clinging fire in the I Ching. And whenever we see this in a chart, we say that we amplify the intensity of the chart by 10. So if you have this defined in your chart, or someone you love does, then you know that they are going to have a lot of intensity. I know my Chiron is in the gate 30, and when I finally found it, because it was in Chiron, I was like, there's that intensity. What does that mean for us this week? There's likely to be quite a bit of intensity happening, and there can be a lot of intensity around Valentine's Day. I know for some people it's a super important holiday where we express our love to each other. For other people, they think it's really a Hallmark holiday. It's not a genuine holiday, and it's just for marketing. One thing I do know is that when you have two people who are part of a couple or who are dating, and they have those two different views of Valentine's Day, it can be a recipe for conflict. The mate of the gate 30 is the gate 41, which we have talked about. It's what begins the Human Design New Year. And it's fantasy or imagination, and it's really about our vision. It's really about our vision for our world. This is collective energy, okay? So this is about kind of the big things in life. It's not just about me and my own personal passion for my own personal direction in life. It's more about what is happening for us collectively, even though, yes, it is connected to emotions, and we do have Valentine's Day mixed in here. But my point is that this desire and this passion also has bigger implications and is wrapped up in something larger than our own individual concerns. And so this is a great time to also be utilizing this energy to be asking yourself, what is your passion? What is your desire? What is your relationship to the collective? How are you engaged in anything that has to do with more of the collective consciousness or things that are happening on the collective level? And how can you also devote yourself, right? If you tap into the 29, which is what the earth is lighting up right now, which is what are we devoting ourselves to? What are we persevering around? What are we using our primary life force energy, which is the energy of the sacral, to bring into our passion, right? So if the sun is lighting up our passion, the sun is lighting up our desire, and is very emotional, then we're also grounding ourselves in this potent life force energy and asking, what do we want to be devoted to? So that is a great inquiry for you to do this week. And it could be partly about you and your beloved if you're celebrating Valentine's Day. It could be you with yourself, because February 13th is also the International Day of Self-Love. So this is an important time for us to love ourselves and then to also love each other, whether we're in an intimate romantic relationship or not. And to be looking at how can we be spreading out that love and that desire and that devotion for the world that we truly know is possible and that we can feel calling to us from the future. What is it that we're going to be engaging in? Now, in some of the videos that I've been doing about life purpose, and you can go and watch the first one here if you haven't seen it already, I was talking about that we are each responsible for our own piece of the red thread. That if the red thread is a metaphor for the web of life that connects all of us, that each one of us is just responsible for our own piece of the red thread, which is where our purpose and our contribution are going to lie. But that we also see this in the context of the whole of the web of life. And of course, that's more the collective energy, which is the context of the whole. And part of our development and our maturation, if you will, is our ability to be able to see from multiple perspectives at the same time, so that we are loving ourselves, we're loving our beloveds, we're beloving the people in our community, but we're also having a bigger vision. What do we want to really dedicate and devote ourselves to? Now, the challenges that can arise here is because of the intensity of that 30, we can just be intense and have passion and desire, but it's not well managed or it's not directed in the right way. And it just becomes something that's kind of burning fire. And we can throw it at each other if we're not paying attention. And same with perseverance or devotion. We can be devoting ourselves to something that really isn't in our highest good. Unfortunately, we kind of do this subconsciously all the time, where we have a habit of being devoted to something that really isn't good for us. You know, the shadow side of that is addiction, right? Or habitual ways of being that we just keep working for ourselves over and over again. So this is a great time to be kind of looking at the things that you're devoted to or the things that you're intense about, and make sure that they're the things that you really want to be giving that much of your power to. And you can shift it now if it hasn't been on the track that you really want it to be. Just a couple of comments about what else is going on right now. Much of the knowing circuit is still lit up. I talked about this in last week's transit report if you want to go and check that out. Mercury has joined Pluto in the gate 60, and I've talked about the gate 60 in a few of the recent transit reports, so you can go and check those out if you want to know a little bit more about that. But basically, it's in the knowing circuit, and it's an energy that is kind of looking at, are the new out-of-the-box ideas, the new mutations that are coming in, are they useful? Let's sort through, let's be discerning. And so Mercury and Pluto are both lighting up that energy right now. Pluto's there and is going to be there for a while. It's helpful now to have Mercury giving voice to this as he spirals out of retrograde and comes back over the same terrain that he was on earlier, because Pluto is the god of the underworld and kind of the phoenix energy. And if we're not really paying attention to what Pluto wants us to pay attention to, which in this case is discerning which of the mutations is useful, then we can have a bit of a burn down and rebirth. And Mercury can help us to express this and talk about it and talk to other people about it. So it's a good time to be doing that, particularly if you are working with mutative energy. Saturn is still lighting up the gate 13, which is where the sun was last week. And again, the gate 13 is a storytelling energy. And so Saturn is still there saying that every day, take a look at the stories that you're telling about yourself, the stories you're telling about what's possible, what's not possible, what your relationships are like, who you are, and so on, and make sure that the stories that you're telling are the ones that you want to be living inside of. And then Jupiter, who's the expansive god of the solar system, is still lighting up the gate 37, which is the friendliness. And it's part of the channel of the bargain, or the channel of contracts and agreements and so on. It's in the tribal circuit. And so, Jupiter is just really asking us to take a look at the agreements that we have with each other and to make sure that they're the ones that we want, and that when they are, we can expand them now. We can make them bigger in our lives. We can also look at agreements and contracts that are bigger, and we can expand this kind of sense of friendliness and of connecting with people and of having things work out for everyone. Again, this is tribal energy, so the focus is on just not just the self, it's also about our relationships in the tribe. And so how do we actually expand that, make it bigger, make it better for everyone? Then on Saturday, February 19th, we're going to have another transit, and we're going to take just a quick look right now, and then I'll talk about this more in next week's transit report. But take a look at this image here where you can see that the sun was in the gate 49 in the last transit. In this transit right now, it's in the gate 30. Next transit is in the gate 55. And so these are all on the emotional solar plexus. So we're really kind of taking a journey through our emotional energy and looking at the different qualities and the different aspects of it. And it's asking us to be paying attention to our emotional energy, which I think is super important and vital because we live in a pretty emotionally dysfunctional culture. And we don't really know how to be with our emotions. We don't necessarily understand what they are. We don't even know if we can feel all of our emotions, right? So it's giving us an opportunity to be tapping more into our emotional energy. And so I would invite you to be doing that during this time. On Saturday, we're going to move into the gate 55. The sun will move into the gate 55, and that is the gate of faith. And it's the faith that we will have what we need when we need to have it. It's kind of an abundance gate in its higher expression. But it also, in its lower expression, can be the sense that we don't have what we need. We don't have faith, and that we can get our emotions all wrapped up in that. So you get to take a look for yourself about how do you want your emotions to go with that? Do you want to have the more uplifting, more positive, more possibility type of thinking and feeling with that gate 55, or do you have a habit of more identifying with its lower frequency? And then the earth will be moving into the gate 59, which is in the tribal circuit, and it's the gate of sexuality in traditional human design and sustainability in quantum human design. So again, we're going to have an energy that's on the emotional solar plexus and another one that's on the sacral. So we have a lot of energy that's coming from those two engines. And so I'll be digging into those more in my next transit report. Many blessings, much love. Bye for now.